Alright, guys. I think I talked about this, but I wanted to talk about it a bit more, because now, obviously, I think this got when this was first announced, I think it got overshadowed by the IDW DC announcement of, the Ninja Turtles teaming up with Batman. But yeah, IDW next year is going to be doing another crossover around the same time while, the TMNT Batman crossover is going on. That being Street Fighter versus G.I. Joe. Yeah, a Street Fighter G.I. Joe crossover, where we've got IDW teaming up with Udon Comics to... I think this is actually Udon's first crossover, now that I think about it. Kind of like how IDW's first... Boom's first crossover was with Star Trek Planet of the Apes. But yeah, this crossover I think is really cool. I didn't think any... I bet a lot of people were like, wow, that comes out of nowhere. But yeah, this is a really cool idea. I think this is it's very unique, because when I first heard it, I was like, Street Fighter and G.I. Joe? Are you serious? I had to, dig it up. And everyone was... And I had eventually found it, and was like, oh, well, son of a bitch. Yeah. So the story is, so far, is that Shadowloo and Cobra are at war with one another. Shadowloo and Cobra have declared war on one another, and the Joes and the other characters from Street Fighter are going to be caught in the crossfire. Now, yeah, when you have these characters all together, Street Fighter has probably got the one-up in terms of, power set in a majority of their characters over G.I. Joe. As much as I love G.I. Joe, as much as I love my Joes, you gotta admit, when you look at characters like Ryu, Akuma, Bison, all of these characters are, these people could break buildings with just a pinky. So the Joes, but the Joes, on the other hand, have skill and equipment. So, yeah, I mean, you've got some really cool fights in here, I would love to see Vega and Storm Shadow. I think they actually, during the release of this, when they first talked about this, I think there was actually a mention that Vega and Storm Shadow will fight. So, yeah, I'm actually really excited. If that's true, I would love to see Vega and Storm Shadow throw down. Among other characters, I would love to see, meet and battle. I mean, you've got right here on the cover, it looks like Guile and Ryu are going to go head to head with Jinx and Snake Eyes. And you've also got in the back right there Chun-Li and Scarlet about to, mix and mingle and beat the shit out of each other. But yeah, it looks like the main focus of this is that Cobra and Shadowloo are both after something, and Bison sends his Shadowloo's declared war on Cobra, and it's going to get ugly. Now, we don't see Cobra here, we actually see Destro on the cover, so I don't know, because in the G.I. Joe comics, they always have a different Cobra. Cobra is, Cobra Commander, the original Cobra Commander's dead, and there's been, new Cobra Commanders ever so often. In hindsight, really, sometimes it's like Destro really controls Cobra, and Cobra Commander's kind of like a figurehead in some cases. So it may actually just be Destro, and it's been a while since I've read the G.I. Joe comics, but yeah, the idea of that Destro is, fighting against Shadowloo, who, they're powerful, but then you look at Cobra, who is this vast terrorist organization with, all this different equipment, all of this, weaponry and manpower. Shadowloo's tough. They've got some really tough soldiers, but Shadowloo is just that. They work in the shadows. They, they're not like a giant criminal at least they're not anymore. They've lost, Bison's lost a lot of his power. Shadowloo because of his own personal, desires. So, in terms of manpower, I think Cobra has them on that, but in terms of skill set, you gotta give it to Shadowloo. But in terms of other characters I'd love to see hang out with each other, I'd love to see, Scarlet hang out with Sea Viper, of course, Guile and Chun-Li, Juri Hama, team up with, Juri Hama versus Baroness, that'd be cool. You've even got, I would love to see, Ryu and Duke meet. Or Guile. Actually, yeah, Guile would probably be the better one. Is that Guile? Here's the thing. Guile would totally work as a G.I. Joe. I mean, hell, he looks like a G.I. Joe character, and he would just fit right in the G.I. Joe. Him and Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, I don't know if they can use Sergeant Slaughter because that was a professional wrestler, but yeah, even Yeah. Well, Sergeant Slaughter could actually work as a... You could see him as a Street Fighter character. Same with Snake Eyes. Sorry, I got a little mixed up there with Sergeant Slaughter, but yeah. He's a G.I. Joe. I was just saying he would work good in he would be cool in Street Fighter. And I'm pretty sure if he, I'm pretty sure there would be a DLC for that somewhere out there. Or a mod of some kind. But no, this is a really cool idea because on one hand, like I said, you've got the characters from Street Fighter who have powers. They can, you've got powers like the Hadouken, the Shoryuken, the Sonic Boom, all of the, and the Satsui no Hado. And how the Joes and Cobra prepare for that is beyond me. That's the big question you got to ask yourself. But then you look at it the other way. The Joes have manpower, equipment, weapons that, yeah, they could actually hold their own against the characters from Street Fighter, at least the villains. And I'm just really more excited to see the heroes meet. Obviously with the Special Task Force Guile put together with along the sides of Cammy and. That's actually who I want to see more team up is Cammy and Scarlet, or Cammy teaming up with CoverGirl. That'd be awesome. All in all, I know I pretty much did a video on this beforehand. I did a video on this, earlier in the year when this was first announced over at Comic-Con, but no, I think again it got pretty much overshadowed by the Batman TMNT announcement, which is fine, I think it's all safe to say we're all excited for this, but I think it's cool that IDW is doing that crossover, which is starting next month, I believe, or this month, of the Batman TMNT crossover, and it's going to go all the way into next year. This one's coming out, I believe, next February. It's going to start next February, and I think it's cool that they're going to be basically doing two crossovers at the same time, which usually they just wait, one at a time. It's actually kind of funny because I think right after, Batman TMNT starts next month. Yeah, I'm right. But yeah, right after, the same month Green Lantern Star Trek ends, they're just like, oh, now it's time, now it's Batman TMNT, you go. Yeah. So, you guys tell me, what do you guys think of this? Are you guys excited to see G.I. Joe and Street Fighter meet? What characters do you want to see? And more importantly, what fights do you want to see happen between the characters of Street Fighter and G.I. Joe? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.